Difficult conversations are an inevitable part of life, whether in the workplace or in personal relationships. These conversations can range from addressing performance issues with a colleague to discussing relationship problems with a loved one. While they may be uncomfortable, having difficult conversations is crucial for growth, resolution, and maintaining healthy dynamics. In this video, we will explore why it's important to have these conversations and steps to prepare for them and how to navigate them effectively. I'm Jo Banks. I've been a professional executive business coach for 15 years, and I'm sharing what I know. In my experience, many people have difficulty in having difficult conversations, as most people, especially if you're healthy, don't like conflict. However, if, like me, you grew up in a household where there were never difficult conversations, where if issues or problems were raised, they would either be brushed under the carpet, ignored, or turned into full-blown aggression with accusations being fired left, right, and centre. If, like me, you grew up like that, conflict can feel very scary and very unsafe, and so we avoid it at all costs. Unfortunately, some of us were just not taught how to have difficult conversations that didn't involve either shutting down or getting triggered. And that's why I wanted to do this video. If you'd like a copy of a difficult conversations fact sheet that I've done to accompany this video, you can get it at jobanks.net/difficult conversations. The link will be below. Why it's important to have difficult conversations. Number one, preventing bigger problems. Avoiding difficult conversations can lead to unresolved issues, festering and growing into larger problems. In the workplace, not addressing performance issues or conflicts can result in decreased productivity and morale. In personal relationships, unspoken grievances can lead to resentment and emotional distance. Number two, building trust and respect. Having the courage to address issues openly fosters trust and respect. It shows that you are committed to the relationship, whether professional or personal, and that you value honesty and transparency. This can strengthen bonds and lead to more constructive interactions in the future. Number three, achieving positive outcomes. Difficult conversations, when handled well, can lead to positive changes. They provide an opportunity for mutual understanding, problem solving, and finding common ground. This can improve work performance, enhance relationships, and lead to personal growth. Steps to prepare for a difficult conversation. In my experience, not taking time out to actually prepare what you want to say and to think about the outcomes you want is really the downfall of many difficult conversations. So I'm going to talk you through a process to allow you to be able to prepare effectively. Number one, get clear on the issue. Get really clear on what it is you want to discuss. Sit down with a pad and pen and physically write out what's bothering you. In the fact sheet that I have available, there is a template that you can download and use for this purpose. This is especially important when addressing an issue from a work perspective. I would recommend collating facts to back up your thoughts. In many of my videos on bullying and harassment in the workplace, I've mentioned collating details of dates, times, and instances of abuse together with physical evidence, and that's what I'm referring to here. Number two, think about the consequences of not having the conversation. Before initiating a difficult conversation, it's important to consider what might happen if you don't address the issue. Ask yourself, will the problem resolve itself, or is it likely to get worse? How will the ongoing issue affect my work environment or personal relationship? What are the potential long-term consequences of avoidance? Understanding the potential negative outcomes of not having the conversation can motivate you to take action and address the situation head-on. Number three, be clear about the outcome you want and why. Having a clear objective in mind is crucial for a productive conversation. I want things to be different or I want things to change is not reason enough in most cases. Consider what specific outcome are you hoping to achieve? Why is it important to you? How will achieving this outcome benefit both parties involved? Being clear about your goals helps you stay focused during the conversation and provides a sense of direction, making it more likely to reach a constructive solution. Number 4, consider how the other person may react and how you'll deal with it. It's essential to anticipate the other person's potential reactions and to prepare for them. Think about how might they feel or respond to what you're saying? What might their possible concerns or objections be? How can you address these concerns in a respectful and empathetic manner? If you're planning a difficult conversation with someone, you already know them and you know their behaviours. How they react shouldn't be a surprise to you. Being prepared for their various reactions allows you to remain calm and composed, helping to steer the conversation towards a positive outcome. Number 5, script a 90-second opening. Often opening up the conversation is the most difficult part. So taking some time to script what you're going to say can be incredibly helpful. Starting the conversation with a clear and concise opening sets the tone for a productive conversation. Your opening should state the purpose of the conversation, acknowledge any shared goals or positive aspects of the relationship, express your intentions and the desired outcome. Here's an example of a 90-second opening. I'd like to talk about something that's been on my mind. I value our working relationship and believe we both want to do our best at work. Recently, I've noticed some challenges with state the specific issue, and I think it's important we discuss it so that we can find a way to move forward positively. My goal is to understand your perspective and work together to come up with solutions that benefit both of us. Scripting this type of opening helps you start the conversation on the right foot to ensure that your message is clear and your intentions are understood. Navigating the conversation, some practical tips. Number 1, choose the right time and place. Select a time and place where you can both talk without interruptions and feel comfortable. A private meeting room might be ideal for workplace conversations, while a neutral and calm environment is ideal for personal situations. Number 2, listen actively. Active listening is the key to understanding the other person's perspective. Show that you're paying attention by maintaining eye contact, nodding and providing verbal acknowledgements. Reflect back on what they've said to confirm understanding. Number 3, stay calm and composed. Emotions can run high during difficult conversations. Practice deep breathing, stay mindful of your tone, and keep the conversation respectful and focused on the issue, not on the person. Number 4, use I statements. Express your thoughts and feelings using I statements to avoid sounding accusatory. For example, I feel concerned when deadlines are missed because it impacts our project timeline. I have been feeling stressed lately about how we communicate, and I'd like to work on improving it. Number 5, be open to feedback. Difficult conversations are a two-way street. Be open to hearing the other person's perspective and feedback. Acknowledge their feelings and work collaboratively towards a solution. Personal and work scenarios. Let's take a quick look at 2 typical scenarios. Firstly, the work one, addressing poor behaviour. You've noticed that a colleague or manager has been passive aggressive towards you. Here's how you might handle a conversation. Number 1, get clear about the precise issue, including data and evidence to back up your concerns. Number 2, prepare by thinking about the consequences of not addressing the issue. Left unchecked, the behaviour is likely to escalate and could ultimately impact your physical and mental health, as well as your work performance. Number 3, be clear that your goal is to address any issues they may have so that you can create a more harmonious working environment. Number 4, consider that your colleague might feel defensive or angry. They might even deploy gaslighting techniques, as I've discussed in many of my videos. Plan to approach the conversation with empathy. They may have stuff going on that you are completely unaware about, but stick to the facts. Number 5, start with your scripted opening. I wanted to discuss some things that I've witnessed lately that have made me feel uncomfortable. I know you're under a lot of pressure at the moment and things are challenging, but I want to make sure that we're on the same side and working towards the same goal. So if we look at a personal scenario and discussing relationship issues, you may have been feeling distant from your partner and want to address it to improve your relationship. Here's how you might approach it. Number 1, get clear on exactly what you think is wrong. Consider examples rather than just feelings, although feelings are also very important. Number 2, reflect on the consequences of not having the conversation. Continued distance could lead to further emotional disconnection and misunderstandings. Number 3, clarify that your desired outcome is to strengthen your relationship and feel more connected. Number 4, anticipate that your partner might feel hurt or defensive. Plan to approach the conversation with love and care. Number 5, start with your scripted opening. I've been feeling a bit disconnected lately, and it's important to me that we address it. I love you and I want us to feel close and connected. Can we talk about what's going on and how we can work through this together? The wrap up. Difficult conversations are challenging but essential for maintaining healthy, productive, fulfilling relationships, both at work and in our personal lives. By preparing thoughtfully, being clear about your desired outcomes, anticipating reactions, and starting the conversation with a well-crafted opening, you can navigate these discussions with confidence and empathy. Remember, the goal is to foster understanding, find common ground, and work towards solutions that benefit all parties. Embrace these conversations as opportunities for growth and improvement, and you'll find that they can lead to stronger, more resilient relationships. What next? Again, you can download the fact sheet and the template from my website. The link will be below. If you have any words of wisdom on this topic or any questions you'd like me to answer, please leave them in the comments section below. I really love interacting with you all. I value your feedback and I do answer all of your questions. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. Finally, as always, a huge thank you to everybody who stays until the very end, and a massive thank you for all your support. It really does mean the world to me.